Hallelujah. We are live again with our next edition of Blitz broadcast in our Brazil's Best tour. Today we have a very special guest, but before I introduce him, I want to explain what is this all about. We have, in the meantime, a nice name for this concept. We call it the Why Conference, which consists of three elements. All good things are three. Alle guten Dinge sind drei, we say in German.
Yes.
So the first is a Blitz broadcast, a brief interview straight to the point, giving you an overview about, in this case, Brazil's Best. And then we go on to our waiting guest at the video wall of the German Chamber of Commerce. And we will continue with the Why Talks, and inspiring talks of our champion of today. And for film and for final, we gonna have a nice cocktail, a nice ambience, a nice opening and closing with our great guest of today. So we are now live with a special guest, which is a friend of a friend, and he is not only, so he said to me yesterday, the most happiest designer of the world. No, he redesigned the third biggest TV network in the world, and he redesigned, in my view, our perception of time. So, very warm welcome, Hans, to our Blitz broadcast. Very nice to have you here.
That was a blitz already. Did you hear it? It was like a blitz is a lightning.
That's a lightning. We are both, by the way, we have something in common. Let's start with this. We found out yesterday we have something in common. Both of us have the nickname Blitz, believe it or not. Incredible story. It's a Deus Tendentia. We explain that later in the show. So now, what, Hans, makes you, in your humble view, Brazil's best representative?
I would say I met the right people at the right place and at the right time. Already we are in time, you see. Everything is time. So to leave Europe, studying design in Vienna, born in Germany, brought up in Austria, for sure at that time in 74, 75, all the people they thought I'm crazy, because why you go down there? Not only down there, they all were giving the idea that I would meet just a country where we see monkeys, bananas, and snakes. And I ended up having the best job in the world. Because the circumstances to go into a TV station, which was just 10 years old and ready to get a design look. And with this was just going to the heart and to the eyes of 100 million people every day.
Incredible. Fantastic. No, really incredible, inspiring story. So, Hans, please explain us. You have now this project that you outlined yesterday to us, which is all about time, as a main topic. And that might be, in my humble view, a great opportunity for investors. What do you think about it?
Can you imagine, we are here and you look at the guy who came up in 1986 with something which is now on my arm, but it looks as it would be in the future. So, for some reason, it looks as before I came up with this mission. It's a mission, no explanation, because someone being happy doing TV design, all of a sudden going into design of time, adding design, fluid movement, and beauty to the time marks. There's no explanation for that. But that this happened with a style which already my design style, which was 3D, inspired by the spheres, inspired to make the logo of the TV station and so on. For sure, this was the key to bring in something which might be right now on the stage to become emotion when you look at your time, at your life. And that's something which I was fighting 36 years through, every night dreaming and watching my design piece And imagining that not 100 million people, as I had the privilege at Globo, at TV, because we have no more than 8 billion people running like crazy and maybe getting a recipe to find out what is the real value in life, which is time.
Perfect.
Now you bring in the
Yes,
sphere.
because you mentioned the sphere, and look, we have this today for all our guests, and it's our standard.
It's amazing.
A little branding here on a very traditional Argo de Coco, no?
Yes.
And this is look. This man has an extreme attention to detail. He immediately saw this and was inspired. Said, "This is amazing design." No, please.
I think it's important to add a few of my spheres I did in the last decades. And it's true. I was studying design in Vienna, and people said, why you do all the time something based on a sphere? And it's very simple.
And why is that?
It's the best design ever done. God spreads all over in the universe this form. And this is beautiful because this is 3D. This is dark and light, depending where the light comes. And this is here too. So
now you mentioned it, now we need to next talk about that thing on the right arm of you. Thank you. So you may have noticed a special design feature on our guest's right arm. Yeah. So maybe you want to elaborate a bit on this one. This is a very special project for you, I know.
It happened, as I mentioned before, in '86 in Paris.
Yes.
The reason was that the computers I used to do a video for the Centre Pompidou, a 10-year anniversary, they were slowly. And I thought, why I don't take care in bringing design to time? It was in a city called Light, Paris. A city where another Brazilian, 80 years before, made something you love, which is flying. So,
That you found
Santos
out
Dumont, Santos Dumont was not only the first guy who made it happen for all over the world, people enjoying and flying. He also, this is amazing, Philip, he was the guy who put time on the wrist. Why?
Wow.
Because he was friend of Cartier. And as he was flying for a few seconds, he had no time to push the clock out from as they used to have it, opening and seeing the time. So he had to have something which is immediately for him to look at. So that was the connection that a Brazilian designer, 80 years exactly before I was coming up with this mission, was already spreading time around the world. Because he was the marketing guy that people started to use the wristwatch. Even Cartier made a Santos version. You can buy it. So it's just amazing circumstances.
Deus Indencias, no?
Deus Indencias. This is the best word.
That's the best word.
Unfortunately, it doesn't work in English
No,
and
it
not
does work.
in German. But
Forza Mayor. But
it's a magic.
It's a magic. It's a magic of
beyond
life.
coincidence.
Yes, beyond coincidence.
It's the magic or the reason behind coincidence. That's it. Deus, the God, which makes for us looking coincidences. All the people said, oh, this was coincidence. He just saw a magazine in Germany and saw something about Brazil, and he bought a ticket to go down to Brazil and finding the best job in the world and making Globo the most sophisticated TV station in the world. And then this being the result of making an exhibition in the Centre Georges Pompidou and being invited to make the design of time. So,
excellent.
Deus Indencia.
Deus Indencia. Perfect. Look, he mentioned one detail, that Santos Dumont was indeed the first aviator in the, at least in the New World. There might have been aviation, but at the time of the pyramid, we don't know this. But in the New World, as we know it today, Santos Dumont is the first aviator. And that's a fact that most don't know.
The point is that we were brought up in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, we never heard about Santos Dumont.
Perfect. That's
We
it.
heard all about the Wright brothers.
Yes.
Because they were the guys who were 3 years before, but they didn't do it without the help. So the Wright brothers, by the way, they were flying before, but they used artificial energy to push them to lift up. And Santos Dumont was the first who made it really happen. Now the world recognized it.
Yeah.
But he made suicides. He made suicides because he was the big star in Paris. He made not only this, he won the German prize with the first time flying with a Zeppelin around the Eiffel Tower. So this is just why connections and Brazil makes a difference.
That's it. That's Brazil's best that we want to highlight, and that's not so known yet to the world. No? It will be, by the way, a coincidence, Deus Indencia will be the motto of our next show, Aviation, where we will cover this topic, and you, of course, also will be invited as one of our champions. Now, we have one question. We normally ask always our clients, team, and talents for some questions that they want to ask to our champion. So our talents, our Mackenzie dual study student, that are part of them are waiting for you there in the German chamber. They found out, they're smart guys, they found out that your parents wanted you to be rather our profession, an accountant, yeah?
Yes.
So, and then they asked, what kind of career advice would you have for these young people today?
I think whenever people ask me these kind of questions, it's very important for each one to find out where he is happy, where he found satisfaction to live. Because if you make the wrong choice, you are many years in a situation which is not the same that we live. Because I am sure, I was very happy after studying accountant that I moved into something creating every day. This is something you got this talent, and I found it out in the right way, in the right moment, with the right people.
It's all about right timing, right?
That's it.
Perfect.
Time is all over, you see?
Time is over. So then we need to talk about our nicknames. That's an extra bonus
Sure,
track.
sure.
So please, you know my story now.
know,
You met
yeah.
my mentor, my aviation mentor,
Yeah.
just before the show.
Yeah.
So what is
Marcus,
yours?
Marcus.
Marcus, a great
Yes.
guy, Marcus Wesley. He is watching there at the German
Great.
chamber.
Okay.
So please tell me your story. What is the reason why the guys call you Blitz?
I am quite some more years called Blitz.
Okay.
Even if I go tomorrow back to the German, Austrian, Swiss border where I was brought up, the people in the street, they call me Blitz. Why? Blitz, if you take my real name, my family name, is Donner. So it is thunder. And most of the time, you have thunder because the Blitz comes before. And when I was a child, all my life in Austria at the Lake of Constance with my brother. Now he's in Switzerland. He knows that I'm here talking to you.
Great.
But the point is, we did all you can imagine, kids having fun and happiness. Skiing, swimming in the lake, football, everything together. And as we were so close together, we were all the time singing together. And as he was the Donner, the thunder, and I was very electric, very flying all the time, so I got the name Blitz, and it stays until today. I come back tomorrow to see my friends, and they call me Blitz. So for sure, a few years more than you.
I'm a recent Blitz. Incredible story. So basically, this we will officially be the Blitz and Donner show now, right? So we're gonna have this here, right?
And now you have to tell the story of the logo.
That's true. We get there. So let me close us out. Make a shout out for basically our great supporter to make this show happen. Yeah. So I would like, before we come to you, to the logo, I would like to say a big thank you to, of course, our main sponsor. We're sitting here at the Rödl & Partner South America headquarters in Sao Paulo. Of course, next door we have the German Chamber of Commerce. You have met the managing director, Thomas. He's waiting for us there also, so there's also a great partner of this. And then in Germany, we have the family Hirmers and Bambachs supporting us, a great supporter of us. And here, a lot of people already helping us here. So I will just name some. Fazenda DMAP, Marcus Pontes, Instituto Marcus Pontes. And last but not least, this gentleman, Hans Donner, part of our concept, let's say, right now, because he created 2 logos for us. One will be revealed right now.
So, can you imagine, Philippe?
Now the story.
Me leaving TV 1 year ago, after 46 years, making dreams become reality. And I thought, now it's over. I won't do any more TV design. Because in the last year, all this design pushes me to dimension you would not imagine. It goes into architecture, it goes into furniture design, light design, carpets, everything. Because this was all the time my dream. When I studied design in Europe, I made all this sphere-inspired design because my dream was to one day in my life to turn in real pieces. And then came up this amazing invitation to make a logo again. So I saw my paper, I started to design, but not only designing a logo. I said, how come that after all my amazing life in Brazil, now related to Germany, that's the most important thing. Mm-hmm. Here we have the Handelskammer,
yes.
The German.
Handelskammer, yes, the German.
Thomas Thiem, my friend. So now I was going back to my roots and going to TV design and having the chance to put light with the colors of Germany. So who can design something like this? Who made that happening? To live?
I know somebody.
What is it?
It's you.
No. It's up there.
Oh, okay.
That is Mercedes.
Yeah,
that's the real
Mercedes.
How come to make a logo for a program where I'm sitting beside Philip, talking about time, about life? This is unbelievable, but it's true. And if it's not a dream, please don't wake me up.
That's a perfect ending word. Nothing to add except for 2 words. Be blitzed. Thank you.